You know, he is a human being. He is, as I said, he's a father. He's an uncle. You know, he's an American citizen who deserves to get the attention that he needs in order to sustain life. It don't matter that he is incarcerated; he still deserves and is entitled to the help that he needs. Why won't they help him? Why won't they come forward?
Right. Why would he
I'm going to find out, though. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop until I get some answers. Robert is my brother. I love him, and I want to know, why do he have to endure this much pain? I mean, you know, for him to say that he had to beat the cane off himself, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. If he was supposed to only have his cast on for 2 weeks, why would it take 2 months? What is going on in there? 2 months? That's a really, really big difference for a cast to be on your leg. Why would it be on there that long if it's only supposed to be only on there for 2 weeks? That could have possibly caused the blood clots. And if that is the case, oh my God. If that is the case, that they caused him to get blood clots because they simply did not take the cast off when they were supposed to, who's going to be responsible for that? Someone has to be. Someone has to be responsible for that. Mm-hmm. And when you have things like that going on and you can't get them to adhere to simple doctor's orders, and you can't do anything about it, Robert needs our voice. He needs our help. He needs direction. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we need to find out. We need to find out, where can we get the help that Robert needs against our own government? Mm-hmm. Our own government, who's supposed to provide. They're supposed to provide these things. If they don't provide it, who's going to provide it? Nobody. We can't rely on another country to come in and get Robert the proper attention that he needs. We're supposed to be one of the greatest countries in the world, but right now we're not acting like one of those great countries. That's just not what we're seeing here.
Well, we are broadcast around the world, and the world is hearing this. The world is looking at. We get emails all the time asking, what is America doing? And whether you believe he's guilty, he's innocent, whatever it is, we have rights groups that fight for people. Even people who are incarcerated do have rights. They have rights to proper medical care, proper medical procedures. Somebody has to be held accountable to this release of back to the prison against his doctor's medical orders. The doctor did not want to release him. The prison requested he be brought back to prison, is my understanding. So somebody has to be held accountable to that. What was the reason for removing him from his doctor's care in the hospital to bring him back to a prison to where he's suffering and can't get blood thinners and is getting an aspirin a day or an aspirin a couple of times a day? We are not going to let go of this issue. We are going to continue to make calls, reach out to advocacy groups. I have contacted some myself today. I've done some research. A lot of the groups do not go up against federal bureaus of prisons or other government agencies, but there are agencies out there that will advocate for his medical needs being met. He is a U.S. citizen. He is a human being. There's activist rights that fight for animals and he is being treated less than we would fight for an animal, to leave him in there suffering without medication, without proper blood thinners, without proper treatment from a doctor on whether he needs heparin shots or an IV filter to filter his blood. If this is something they caused, is that why they called him back to prison? What is really going on? Somebody has to give you answers, Bruce, and we're going to support you through this. I have made some calls today. Like I said, I know that his attorney is on it. I do have the letter still that I wanted to read, so that that I know that you were made aware of this. That the letter that was written by Jennifer Bonjean to a prison official. It was directed to Robert Steele Jr. at the U.S. Department of Justice, who is over the Federal Bureaus of Prison in MC. And she says, "Dear Mr. Steele, I'm writing to you to continue our conversation from the past week." This was dated March 28th. "From the past week, and I demand that my client's medical needs be addressed immediately. As you know, on March 20th, 2023, I sent you an email expressing my grave concerns about Mr. Kelly's continued pain and worsening symptoms related to his prior surgery. Mr. Kelly failed to receive competent post-operative care at the MCC. Indeed, after Mr. Kelly's surgery, he was fitted with a cast to protect the incision site. This cast was supposed to be removed after 2 weeks, but the MCC failed to follow this directive from his treating physicians. Mr. Kelly repeatedly asked the medical staff at the MCC to continue to remove the cast and check the site of his surgery. His requests were continually ignored. Eventually, Mr. Kelly was forced to physically remove his own cast, which as I previously stated, was absolutely unacceptable. In the past couple of months, Mr. Kelly has complained repeatedly of pain and asked that the MCC medical staff examine the source of his leg pain. Mr. Kelly even apprised MCC medical staff that he was concerned about having blood clots in light of his family history. Again, he was ignored. On March 2023, I was forced to raise these concerns with you directly. My understanding is that same week, last week, he was brought for outside treatment, where it was confirmed that he has blood clots in his leg where his surgery was performed, likely related to the negligent post-operative care he received at the MCC. Blood clots are life-threatening complications that should have been monitored from the start. Mr. Kelly's nearly a week in the hospital during which he has been denied access to me, his lawyer, and his fiancée, who was desperately worried about his well-being. I appreciate that you informed me that he was obtaining treatment in a hospital, but it is entirely unacceptable that he was denied the opportunity to communicate directly with me. I emailed you yesterday to inform you that I remain concerned about his condition, and you assured me that MCC was handling his medical needs. I'm not convinced. I spoke with him today, and he sounded unwell and continued to complain of terrible pain. Ms. Savage has also informed me that she met with him today, that he looked terrible, that she was gravely concerned about his health. The MCC BOP has a constitutional obligation to provide competent medical care to all inmates. The MCC has failed to do so with respect to Mr. Kelly. Had Mr. Kelly received competent post-operative care, these complications would not have occurred. We fully intend to address these harms through the appropriate administrative and court processes. But I have immediate concerns about Mr. Kelly's health and safety. He should be promptly returned to the hospital for continued care and monitored by competent medical personnel. Sincerely, Jennifer Bonjean, Bonjean Law Group. We have all the confidence in the world that Jennifer is not going to let this go. We do want to say that. And Bruce, I will let you speak on this from here.
Well, I too, Sasha, I too have great confidence in Jennifer. She addresses things right where they need to be addressed at. But there's only so much that Jennifer could do herself. She can't go into the prison and physically make them do what they are supposed to do. So she's addressing the issues and stuff, but it's up to us to also put pressure on the Bureau just the same, from hopefully masses of people who care and support Robert. You know, this is one thing that concerns me. When they called for Robert to go do a checkup, okay, it must have been something of grave concern, because the checkup was from an outside hospital. They have doctors at the MCC. So it must have been something that was a little bit more important than just regular a regular medical concern, that they would have him go to an outside hospital to get a checkup, because they already knew that, you know, it must have been something serious enough to, you know, have him go to an outside hospital.